Alice in Wonderland, A Present for the Queen by Tracey West. It looks like Christmas, Alice said, gazing out of her parlor window one cold December afternoon, and the snow sparkled on the fields, on the branches of the trees. Outside, children were building snowmen. Alice thought about joining them, but the parlor was wrapped up nice and cozy. Alice yawned. Perhaps it would be best to stay in after all. Suddenly, something hopped across the snow front of Alice's house. It was a rabbit wearing a white fur red coat. And Alice sat up and startled and peered out the window. "Why, it's the White Rabbit from Wonderland," she cried. "I'm lost," the White Rabbit wailed as he scooted past the house. Alice quickly put on her winter coat and ran outside after the rabbit. She caught up with him just as he was about to dive in the hole underneath the tree. "Oh, you must let me through," the White Rabbit cried. "I've lost the Queen of Hearts' Christmas present, and I can't find it, and she's going to have my head." "Oh, dear, that'd be awful indeed," Alice said. "Here, let me help you find it." But the White Rabbit simply dove into the hole without another word. Alice followed the White Rabbit down the hole, leaving her house behind, and Alice fell, and she passed all sorts of Christmas presents and decoration and stockings and wreaths and garlands and beautiful dress trees, and down she fell until she landed with a thump. Alice looked at the rabbit's fluffy tail and as it disappeared through the door, and she hurried after him to find herself only on a snowy path lined with the evergreen trees. The White Rabbit was gone, but Alice could see his footprints in the snow. This is a little high. Hold on one second. I'm just gonna boop. There we go. That's better. Hi, guys. Okay. Alice made her way down the path, admiring the lights of the trees. Then she noticed something. "Oh, they're fireflies!" she exclaimed. At once, the footprint stopped. "I lost them again," Alice said with a sigh. "Lost who?" someone asked. A toothy smile appeared in the snow trees, followed by a purple-striped cat with a big smile. "A Cheshire Cat," Alex shouted happily. "Maybe you can help me. The White Rabbit lost the Queen's present and..." "But that's a lost what?" the cat interrupted, grinning down at Alice. "I thought you said you lost a who?" Alice frowned. Usually she quite enjoyed the riddles, but she always had trouble explaining herself to the Cheshire Cat. Excuse me a second. Sorry. Lots of reading today. Okay. Alice frowned. Usually she enjoyed riddles, and she always had trouble explaining herself to the Cheshire Cat. "I did not lose a what? I lost a right rabbit. I've lost him." Suddenly the Cheshire Cat disappeared, leaving behind a branch empty again. "I can't help you with your lost who," he called, "but I can help you with your lost what. Try the Mad Hatter." Alice turned around, and she knew the Mad Hatter wasn't on the path behind her, so she decided to go forward, and she heard music. "Deck the halls with bowls of jelly, foo, 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 loo, loo, loo." Alice emerged in the clearing, and the Mad Hatter and the March Hare stood with their arms around each other singing. They stopped when they saw Alice. "Join us," said the Mad Hatter. "We're singing Christmas carols." "Christmas heralds?" Alice asked. "Don't you mean Christmas carols?" "What does carol have to do with it?" asked the March Hare. "Everyone knows that a Christmas herald is the best way to sing songs and write the best ones, and he wrote the best ones." And with that, the March Hare and the Mad Hatter began to sing, oh, Christmas tea, with milk and cream we drink thee." And that's not how that song goes at all, Alice said, shaking her head. Well, anyway, we don't have time to sing. The White Rabbit lost the Queen's Christmas present, and suddenly the Mad Hatter jumped in front of Alice, holding a teapot. Cold cocoa? He offered Alice the teacup. You mean hot cocoa? Alice replied. This reminds me of a riddle, the Mad Hatter said. What keeps your head cool in the summer but warm in the winter? A hat, of course. Now, please, I need your help. It's the Queen's present is lost. With a twinkle in his eye, the Mad Hatter took off his hat, and sitting upon his hat was a large box wrapped in Christmas paper, and lying on the top of the box was a tiny sleeping dormouse. There you are, said the Mad Hatter, grabbing the dormouse. And here you are, the March Hare said, handing Alice the present. Oh, thank you, Alice said. Now, if you'd be so kind. But the Mad Hatter and the March Hare weren't listening to her anymore. They had burst into another song again. On the first day of Christmas, my best friend gave to me a steaming pot of lovely tea. As they continued to sing, Alice realized she was going to have to keep looking for the White Rabbit on her own. Shaking her head, Alice left the clearing. She made her way through the trees and saw the White Rabbit's footprints had reappeared. Alice didn't want to lose the tracks again. She carefully followed them all the way to the Queen's castle. As she approached the gates, the Queen's guard grabbed her. The Queen's got a reward out of your head. The Queen's got a reward out for your head, the guards yelled. The guards brought Alice to the throne room where the White Rabbit was busily apologizing to the Queen. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, he was stammering. I had your present, but I lost it. And the Queen had heard enough. She stood down and pointed at the White Rabbit. Off with your head, she yelled. No, Alice cried, breaking away from the guards. The present isn't lost. I found it. The Queen glared at Alice. Off with her head, she yelled. The King coughed quietly and placed his hand on the Queen's arm. Perhaps you could at least open the gift first, he suggested meekly. The Queen's eyes the present. I suppose I could, she said, tearing off the wrapping, and her eyes lit up, and she pulled out a small Christmas tree. And as the Queen of Hearts admired her gift, a large grin appeared in the air next to Alice. Now might not be the worst time to slip away, it said, and Alice nodded quietly and snuck out of the room. As soon as she was safely out of sight, she began to run, and she slipped on a patch of ice and hit her head, and everything went black. When Alice opened her eyes, she found herself back at the parlor. She yawned sleepily. What a strange dream I had. Stretching, Alice looked out the window, and just then she caught the eye of a finished snowman who was wearing a familiar hat holding a teacup. Alice frowned. Perhaps it wasn't a dream after all.